Farmed Off-Grid Victory. So I wanted to give you guys an update on the framing process of this 16 by 8 shed. As you can see, we've put a base on the floor. The base is a pressure treated material and it's also been painted on either side. And the basic framing is done with 24-inch spans. As you can see here, each one of these is roughly about 24 inches. Now the hole dimensions on the bottom here is 1 inch shy of 8 feet. Same thing up here. And what that'll do is provide us, actually it's a little bit shorter than 1 inch, so that we can overlap into the base and put the sheeting directly into the base as well as on the frame. The pitch of the roof here, it's on a 5-degree angle. And so all these angles are cut 5 degrees off of 90, so 85. And that gives us the pitch. The rails here, the overhang here is also cut at an angle, same 5 degrees, same with the end here. And so that's the pitch of the roof. So let's take you inside. Before I do that, one of the things you do in framing is use these 45 braces. Now I had about 8 of these all around the corners before I started to give the whole structure some stability while I was framing, and also to keep it square. And so this can be now taken off. All the rest have been taken off. I'm using these Thermal Star windows. They're double pane. And they are, I believe, 36 by 48 inches. Now, these windows aren't really put in thoroughly. They're just hanging on by a couple screws. The side sliding door here, which I'll show you, this is the front of the structure. And you can see that's the front of the structure. We'll go in. I think this is the smaller size door, sliding door. Alright, so anyway, come in, point out some things that we're doing here. Okay, so I'm just standing at the corner. So the framing here, it's taking two 2x4s. They're put at 90 degrees to one another. That'll be the basic frame. I need to put one more beam up there on the header. And as you can see, it's non-traditional build, obviously. All these 2x4s are horizontal, not vertical. And we're using, like I said, 2 feet spans, except for the windows, obviously, where it has to fit, as well as the top. The corners get a 45-degree brace. The roof gets 24 inches as well. So everything is tied together. Sorry for the fast camera work here. Everything is tied together all the way to the ground, supported obviously by screws. So everything is done with screws. These particular corners on every side, it's a 90, and all these corners are into this material. Now I'm gonna actually have to drywall this, so I'll put a half of the 2x4, cut it and put it in between here just to take the drywall at the base. But this will get 1 inch insulation, 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, sorry, insulation. And up here we'll get a full 3.5 inch insulation on the top, and that'll all be drywalled. So let's see what else. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, just making sure that the whole structure will move together. As you can see, the windows are at 36 inches high. It goes up to 40 inches with roughly with the span of the wood. And you can see all around that it is all tied in together here at the base for the windows. And at the top, you can see from here, excluding the header, well, even the header, I guess, because of the door, it's all tied in up here, all the way around to over here. and all the way around to over there, to that corner. And so the structure is pretty solid. It's not going to move. It can take, the roof obviously can take the weight of a person, two people actually working up there. And the frame itself is pretty solid and won't shift. In fact, if I try to shake this building, it'll all shake together. And that's it. And so the next portion will be to put the exterior sheeting on, and then insulation on the inside, as well as drywall. And the floors will get tiled, so some kind of a cement board, Heidelberger type of material, and then tiled. And you know, right before then, some electrical work, that kind of stuff, to get power into the shed. And so that's it. So here is our 16 by 8 shed. I think we're going to be using this shed mostly as a kitchen, but we'll see what we're going to be doing with it. Definitely, it's big enough to house a couple of people. It's a great little cabin for 2 people if you just wanted to set it up as a tiny home or a cabin. And so here's the design. And by the way, by putting this structure horizontally instead of vertically, what you end up saving is the width of a 2x4 on either side. So you're getting a little bit more space out of this type of design. And because it is, like I said, all tied in together, here it's the window, so that's not directly tied in, but everywhere else, as you can see, is tied directly into the supporting roof boards. And of course, yeah, the center here is supported as well. So you got a pretty solid structure here. That's not going to be going away anytime soon. And of course, this is on skids, so you can move it if you had to. I guess it would be very difficult, but you could. And somebody asked me why I would even put a structure like this on skids, and why not put either a post foundation down, a cylinder, and then concrete it and whatnot. The reason why I don't do that is because really it's for the tax man, it's for taxes. It's a non-permanent structure. It's a non-land improvement, so I can't really get tax on this structure because I can move it out and move it. And so that's why I'm doing it this way. Yes, it would make much more sense to put a footer down and start. It makes it much easier to work with, easier to level, all of that good stuff, and makes a faster job. But for me, my consideration is to have a structure that I can move if I needed to. And so that's why I'm doing it this way. Alrighty, shalom.